Hi guys, it's Lily. So, July is officially over, and so is One Book July. And so I thought it's time to do a kind of wrap up video where I just go over what I've learned from the month. So, I started off the month with this huge array of planners, and I think I didn't realize it, but I was kind of like in a bit of a planning mess because I had my work planner. I had like a home planner. I had a personal planner, which was quite new. Um, I had a planet like a meal planner. I had a planner, which I just used for like all of my planning related stuff, like YouTube videos and like keeping track of planning supplies. I had a pet planner where I was keeping track of my dog Panda's weight as well as like all of their vaccination records and stuff like that. Um, I had I don't even know. I had like so many different planners for individual dedicated things. Fitness tracker, yeah, like obviously this kind of was the result of you know being a planner addict, like buying planners and then trying to invent a use for them. And it's not like it was all bad, but I think that there were so many different planners that it's like I wasn't really getting the most out of each one because I had this planner which was an A5. It was this one, and I had all of this different stuff in it, but essentially I only really used like kind of the video, a list of YouTube videos that I wanted to make, and then I would, I had the calendar inserts to like kind of mark off when I should make them and then to like tick off when I had made them. But realistically, I was just kind of like ticking them off on the list. It was a to-do list. And then I also used the planner supplies, a kind of tracker to record like, when I'd ordered stuff, when it was dispatched and when it arrived so that I could, keep on top of things if stuff didn't arrive. And I was trying to put all these things in the calendars as well, because obviously the Filofaxes come with calendar pages, so you want to use them. But it was kind of unwieldy. And then with like Panda's weight, that was the only thing that wasn't like sort of stationary. That's this one, what's in this one now. It probably wasn't at the time when I made the video. And then there was also like this kind of, like a sort of memory keeper / romantic planner that we weren't really using. That was another one. Anyway, so there was like, I don't know, 10 different planners or something. I'll link the sort of beginning of One Book July video below so that you can see like what sorry situation I was in. And at the time, I was like, well, I just can't possibly see how I could get rid of these because these are all functioning. And the only concession I could make, this was like end of June, was to put what was at the time, this was my meal planner, and it had like recipes, sort of tried and tested recipes to try, shopping lists, and like a sort of schedule of when to plan the meals. I was like, okay, I'm not doing One Book July, but as a sort of concession to the concept of One Book July, I would be willing to try putting the meal planning calendar section into my home planner. And I was like, that's all I'm going to do. Then, by the next week, I somehow kind of had this epiphany, and I did a video on that as well, so you can see that if you like, where I sort of realized that, like, actually, because I think I'd been viewing the idea of One Book July as this like really tough, like kind of torturous challenge, sort of like climbing Mount Everest or like going on an extreme cycling challenge that I was dreading. I was like, oh, I don't want to give up all of my planners. I love them all, and they're all so beautiful. And the thought of just having one planner, like, was horrifying. And then I kind of had this sort of breakthrough. I was like, okay, there are basically two different ways that you can approach the planning. Either you can have a different planner for every, kind of section of your life, which is kind of like what I had done, or you can try to consolidate so that you've got all of those different things, the stuff that you use, in a small number of planners. So I thought, like, okay, like I don't have to get rid of all my planners because like Romany and Miss Vicky B, everyone's stressed. It's not like you're going to get kicked out of the One Book July Club if you literally only use one book and one pen. I didn't even worry about the pens. That wasn't something that I cared about. I've like got a few pens, but that didn't somehow seem like part of the challenge that I was going to worry about. So I thought, okay, I'll try it. I'm not like going to go down to one book, but I'm just going to sort of go down to the minimum of what I could imagine that I could do. So I started incorporating the bits of the other planners that I actually used into these three, because these are the ones that I felt like I really needed to keep them. So this is my work planner. So this is just like everything work related and only work related stuff. And this is my main one because, like, you know, I work a lot. So this is like my main planner. And then the personal planner I use for things that are not work related, which is basically, so I thought, okay, I'll put in all of the YouTube stuff in that and all of the planner stuff, because that was really all I was using from this like whole giant A5 planner. Like I said, I only used a few pages. So I thought I don't need this whole entire planner that I, you know, basically hardly ever use. Instead of having it on the shelf, I could just put it into my personal planner, which was already set up. And I showed this on the setup video, but I'll just show it again. So this is the planning section. This is the elephant postman coming to deliver planning supplies. So I just put the list of videos in here, the list of planner stuff that I've ordered, and then like kind of notes for upcoming videos. And that's it. And so that was a revelation, because I was like, my God, I'm using this planner anyway, and this is personal stuff. Like, I do this for fun. So I'll just put it in here, and then it will be here every day where I'm using it. Oh, I forgot to mention, I also had a separate gratitude book and vision book, which was in an A5 Flex. So I thought, I don't need a whole A5 page for that. I can just use some of these inserts. So I've just put the gratitude book in here, just taking some spare inserts, and then like the vision book as well. I've just sort of written down a list of, you know, like kind of the sort of my like visions, and put it in here because I've got this with me all the time anyway. And then I use the calendar pages for, you know, there's not a huge amount in here, but it's like, had to phone Royal Mail to check about a package, filming videos, like water intake, book dentist appointment, my mum's birthday, like that kind of stuff. So this is like everything to do with sort of my non-work life, basically. And that's awesome, because that meant, oh yeah, and then, see, this is so exciting. Like, these are all of the things I've learned. I also put, instead of having the exercise tracking planner, which was like a whole planner that I was just using for basically like kind of, you know, like ticking off when I sort of, you know, been cycling, I just put it in here. So I just like tick every time I've done it. It's just like an exercise bike, and just like tick, tick, tick. And that's all I need. It's just these like yearly vertical planning pages from Paperchase. So that goes in here as well. And then I just put a tick at the top of, I put in the weekly pages, a little sticky note, a sticker, and I just tick every time I've like kind of gone on, like gone cycling in the week. And that's all I needed. So like that was another planner that kind of didn't have to exist. So I think the contents of about 3 planners sort of got distilled into this one. And this is amazing, because now I use this every day, because there are things in here from, you know, kind of all different aspects of my life. And so all I need to do is check this one, and I know that they're all there. Then the work planners pretty much stayed the same, because I was using that for work before, and I use it for work now. I'm going to do an update on this hopefully next week, because I haven't done one in a few months. But yeah, the Hobonichi is like kind of tried and trusted and excellent for work. And obviously, because it's not ringed, I can't, you know, read much with it. So I haven't, you know, like added in or taken anything out, but that's just stayed the same. And then this one, the third one, also ended up acquiring a lot of new stuff, because so this one is the home planner, which I just recently did a setup of this as well. So this one is for things that are like kind of joint between me and James, and stuff that we both need to know, and stuff that like relates to our flat, like the dogs, anything that's not just like kind of me personal and not work. So stuff like our schedules. So this was the one that I originally thought, like grudgingly, I was like, okay, I will put the meal planning into this and see whether I can possibly manage like that without having it in the meal planning file of facts. And that was only the beginning of it. So not only do I have the meal planning in here, I had it on the daily page, the week on 2 pages for quite a while. But then, so you can see like Peruvian potato soup, alphabet soup, and I was surprised to see that that worked really well, because again, I use this every day. So instead of having to check the meal planner, which was in the kitchen, I just looked in here. Yeah, but then I really got into it. So first of all, this is kind of a new update. My latest Happy Scrappy subscription came. It has these awesome week on one page inserts with notes on the other side. So I switched the meal planning into this, which is perfect because they're undated and we're really bad with like cooking. So we're just kind of trying to get into the habit of building up a repertoire of things that we like and can make. So I'm just leaving this in here for a while until we kind of get good at making these things, and then we can make a new one, like, you know, for a new week. So we can just kind of rotate the weeks. And then on the other side, on this dashboard, also from the Happy Scrappy kit, I've put these sticky notes, also from the Happy Scrappy kit. There was a lot of amazing stuff in the Happy Scrappy kit. And then this is a shopping list. So I also moved the shopping list in here, which again had been in this meal planner. And it makes so much sense to have it in here because this is something we can both check. We're using it every day. It's just like this is the go-to resource. And I know this is probably obvious to a lot of people who are doing this anyway, but yeah, it kind of took One Book July for sort of me to figure this out. So this is great. Like, this is so convenient. And then when I do the shopping, because I, you know, have it in the week on 2 pages, like when I have to remember to do the shopping, then I can just check here, and this has got like all of the meals, and this has got the shopping list. So that's awesome. And there are a whole bunch of these inserts. And then I went a step further, and I thought, like, you know, why not just completely abolish this meal planner altogether and put the recipes in? So I put all the recipes in. These are the ones that we've already made that we know that we like, and then these are ones that that we're going to try. So that's all here. So the contents of the meal planner, as it turned out, like, could all go in here really easily. And then another thing that went in here was the panda weight tracking, because the furry facts, the pet file of facts, was basically just a kind of static reference binder, except for this page. This was the only page that we were actually using. So instead of having to like remember to go to the pet tracker and like get it out, it's just in here. And then whenever we take it into the vet, we just like record it in here, and that's it. And the rest of the stuff stays in this binder. So I'll show you in a minute what I'm doing with my two like kind of static reference binders. But yeah, basically all of the things that were in all of those different planners have now gone into these two, and it's so much better because this is like, this is totally manageable. I know that everything is in one of these, and so it's kind of like diverse enough that I don't feel overwhelmed. So I don't feel like there's too much stuff going on in here, because I've got work separate from personal, and then both of them are separate from home stuff that's like kind of joint. And it's a very clear division to me. Like, this is sort of anything that like sort of James and I both need to know will go in here, and anything that is just me, that doesn't, you know, kind of involve anyone else and that's not work related, goes in here. And then work is here. So I think I still get to have 3 planners. So like, that's nice. Because I think you know, first of all, I wouldn't like having work and personal together, although it is possible. I started off like that, and for years I only had 1 planner. So, you know, the thought of having more than 1 planner would have seemed bizarre. So this is like a peculiar situation that I've ended up in, but becoming a planner addict. But I like the distinction between work and personal, because that always bothered me a bit when I kind of had personal things in here as well. And like, you know, for example, because this is bound, and I love it. Like, I really, really love having this bound planner, but there's some things in here that I think work better in a ring planner, like, say, you know, like the gratitude list, and like the list of YouTube ideas and stuff. I didn't really like having it in here, so I think that works really well. And then having like meal planning and panda weight tracker and all of that other stuff in here is just awesome. And it was a huge relief to get rid of all those extra planners. So I've actually like kind of gutted, or, you know, like just completely disassembled maybe 4 planners. So these now just house spare inserts. Yeah, I have a lot of inserts. I've actually got another 2 over there that also hold spare inserts, but they did before, so I didn't bother bringing them to show you. But yeah, like this is a huge amount of savings here in terms of, you know, unwieldy planning stuff that was going on. So I think that was just such a huge relief, and I didn't realize that it would be. So this is why One Book July was such an amazing transformational experience, because I didn't even know. Like, if you look at my video from the beginning of the month, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do it. I can't do it. And then somehow it kind of worked this magic where, yeah, I know I still have 3 books, but whatever. It really like kind of somehow like kind of the lesson sort of was imparted through the ether, and now I'm just like, I'm so happy that I did it in whatever form I did, because this was a huge change, and I think it's so much for the better. It's really helped to streamline. So basically I've got these three, and then this is all I have that's got stuff in it aside from these three, and these two are purely for storage purposes. These are just storage binders. So, oh yeah, I have another one as well. I forgot to mention before. I've also got this one. This is the A5 version of this, the Pine Spots. This was also just for storage. This keeps all of my work-related, you know, stuff like contracts, you know, like records, like tax stuff. That, like, basically it's just static. I'll only need it for reference, and I like having it in this because it's prettier than having it in you know, before I had them in these just like kind of these cardboard folders from Ryman's that weren't very pretty. So it's like I'm going to store them somewhere, so I might as well store them in a beautiful planner. But this is only for reference. So these three are now only for reference. This one already was, so this wasn't really a problem. But this is the pet tracker, the furry facts. And so this is all just things like, you know, vaccination records, insurance information, like stuff that we'll need to refer to. Like, again, it's going to have to be stored somewhere, so it might as well be in a nice, beautiful planner, and I know exactly where it is. So if I have to put something somewhere, like if we get, you know, I don't know, a bill or like something to do with Tails and Panda, I know exactly where to put it. It goes in here, but it just stays on the shelf. It's not like part of my planning routine. And then this one, I just set up for all of my like kind of bank stuff. So like if I get bank statements, most of them are paperless, but so, like sometimes I get a statement, credit card statements, like checkbooks, that all goes in here. And again, this is all stuff that I would have been storing somewhere else anyway. It's just now it has a prettier home, and I'm more likely to, you know, kind of know where to put stuff, because I think, oh, that's for the finance binder, but they're just storage binders, so they're not part of the planning system. So yeah, having essentially gone from this number of planners at the end of June, I've now streamlined it so that I only have this number of planners, and I've got all of the same information, like kind of the information that and the kind of topics that I was using and referring to and recording are still all in here. It's just that instead of having all of those different unwieldy planners, I've got 3. So I think that One Book July is incredible. It was a great experience, and it took me by surprise, and I'm really happy that I did it. And I'm kind of hoping that I can carry these lessons forward, and now that it's August, like kind of not get distracted by, you know, like all of the new planners that will be coming out and like end up with 5,000 planners again. But the good thing is that I think hopefully by the time next July comes around, if that happens, I will remember that this was a good experience, and I'll be looking forward to it, and that will be kind of like a lifeline if I've got into a planner mess again. But I'm hoping that I can keep it to this system, because I think that this really works well. So thank you to Romany and Miss Vicky B and Carrie Harling for kind of for initiating this, and, you know, kind of giving us the opportunity to do this. It's been fantastic. And as always, thank all of you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.